worry about her.
I know. Oh, hold on.
What?
We're about to enter London proper.
Shit.
We should take a moment.
What's it like?
It's the seat of the eye. The other powers have small enclaves within it, but it's going to be a lot.
Okay. A lot of what?
They're closer. No, they're closer. Shit. Shit.
Astrid's already at the shop. Apparently the door appeared next to her usual copy shop a bit ago. Assuming I will see it soon.
How are you feeling about it?
Not good. Could still be a trap, so, apprehensive about that. But, fucking, it's a church full of cursed, weird artifacts. It's way more interesting than being on my computer staring at people's ghost stories. Maybe I'm curious, and fine. Maybe I'm a bit really fucking excited too.
Sounds like you would have done well in artifact storage then.
Actually, yes. I wish they explored it a lot more, or gave Soleil a statement.
You know, Soleil did technically have a second
Stop
statement.
being a smart-ass, Eddie, you know what I mean.
Oh, I can never stop being a smart ass, even if the world ends.
I miss it when it didn't always feel like the world was ending.
Sometimes I think that the world is always ending, and some of us just have the privilege to not always see it.
And don't see it now, though.
Would you want to?
No. This will still be happening, just maybe not to us, and that's not better. We can still do something, and if it doesn't work, well, it doesn't stop us from trying.
No, it doesn't stop us from
Oh! The new door on the Riverwalk, down the, you don't know what I'm talking, you've not been here. But it's old and heavy, that's creaky, definitely.
What? Did anyone else notice it either?
No, everyone just kind of, no. But I'd say with Astrid, when I asked, she might have seen, oh shit.
Seen what?
I thought she might have seen Ash in the crowd for a second, and she was trying to take the,
Did she or didn't she see Ash?
I don't know, I wasn't there.
If it was Ash, then what if Ash is planning something to stop us?
No, and if it was her, then she'd want you to overthink it, and for Astrid to be on high alert, and for me to freak out. She knows us. She doesn't get to manipulate us anymore.
Or what if she doesn't want us to take it seriously?
And maybe it wasn't even her. I'm gonna go in.
Fine. Shouldn't you knock first?
No. The Curator doesn't deserve my politeness.
Can't find myself to disagree with you. Just stay safe, alright?
Hell no! Alright, open the door. I'm gonna keep you on the line for as long as I can so that you can...
Oh god! Henrik, do you hear that? Can you still hear me? Hello? Oh god damn it. The Curator's damn wards. Again. I wanted to tell him. Well, I guess I can tell you. Last episode, in the comments, there was a message to clean the cobwebs out from under my couch. I found a letter. Old paper, sealed with a silver wax seal that says "Open Me" on it, labelled "For the Archivist." From the Librarial Weaver. They gave me their statement before this, and did so in exchange for a favour. I never found out what that favour was, but it's in here. I can feel it. So, statement of the Librarial Weaver regarding a favour from the Archivist. Visual recording by Edwin Endicott, the Archivist. Statement begins. Greetings, Archivist. I would ask if you are well, but we both know you are not. Watching the weaving of another silk spinner was absolutely marvellous. You saw almost the entire web, and still you played your part like a good marionette. Do give Ash my thanks for ensnaring you in the Magnus Archives. Your theories and experiences of the story is a joy that would not exist were it not for her scheming. And the creation of a bridge should enable this letter to reach you. However, singing the praises of Ashland Spinner is not the main purpose of this letter. You probably know what this letter was the moment it arrived. I've decided to collect a favour you owe me. You might find sending a handwritten letter for this somewhat extravagant, but I find momentous occasions as this deserve a personal touch. While you may know the reason for this letter, you do not yet know what this favour is exactly. Which is why you started reading, because you are curious. Which is also why you cannot bring yourself to stop reading. I shall not keep you in suspense much longer. What I require of you is something that you already expressed interest in. I want you to ensure the continuation of the First Time Listener series, specifically covering the Magnus Protocol. Preferably with you physically present, but being present in spirit shall suffice, should you prematurely expire. You were quite apprehensive when accepting my initial offer, and even requested the ability to renegotiate this favour. You are, of course, welcome to suggest changes if you are dissatisfied with the terms of our agreement. Simply pay another visit to my library so we can discuss alternatives. Do note, however, that being able to freely leave the library is a courtesy I shall not extend a second time. The Librarial Weaver. Statement ends. Does that count as my first reading of an actual statement? It was a bit hypnotic, but refreshing. I get the appeal, but you know, it is so very of the web to ask for a favour that is so remarkably out of my control. And if I do survive, there is no way in hell I am going anywhere near the Magnus Protocol. Forget curiosity, forget a good story. I'm not making the same mistake twice. I would rather die than get caught in it. I've no idea what it would do to this, or to us, or to me. So, Librarial Weaver, I can't really control if I'm holding up my end of the bargain. I certainly don't want to. But that's the thing about the web, isn't it? You can never really know what you can or can't control. But we still need a brave face. I've been thinking about... I want to speak to Owen Kinder. He's, well, it's a bit complicated, but he's an avatar of Terminus and is also a bit indisposed at the moment. But he made a second statement, a report on the world, and his words really set my mind right. Reminded me of what we're doing. Why the fears should stay away. He said, well, he said.
Any positivity you think you get out of this is a lie. The joy and elation gained from the frightening of others will only leave you scooped out and hollow until you're nothing but a letter. I am still human. And so are you. Never forget that.
Whoa! Ha! That felt... different. Sorry if that was weird, Owen. I've never done that for one of my own statements. Ha! Regardless, I needed to hear that from you. And Owen, it would be a pleasure if I could one day call you my friend. A lot has happened in the apocalypse, yeah? I think doing the broadcast would be a lovely distraction. First-time listener, long-time theorist. Episode 177 Wonderland to 189 Piers. Once again, really hard to pick favourite episodes for this batch, but I think episode 186 Quiet is probably one of my favourite episodes of the entire show. I've never really sung the acting praises of Alexander J. Newall, have I? He's absolutely brilliant, and in that episode he had the ability to carry an entire dialogue with himself distinguishably, with nothing more than a little bit of left-right panning on the edit. That is remarkably clever and impressive and just... wow. Martin's always been one of my favourite characters, but that, he really shined. I'm also aware that it's sort of strange to address the acting choices and directing choices of a story that is quite literally becoming more and more closer to our reality as we speak, but I'm sort of trying not to think about it too hard. You think Rusty No, I'm not diving into that. Never mind. I also absolutely adored 181 Ignorance and 184, like ants. Oh god. Jordan Kennedy. Once again, another moment of the show where my investigations directly impacted my listening experience. Opening the episode with descriptions of the vast scale of ant colonies, then saying one word. Jordan. And I instantly knew. Jordan Kennedy from episode 55, Pest Control in season 2. One of my favourite statement givers of the entire show. Then Jon, turned Jordan into an avatar. Connected him to the ants. Jon's intent was ambiguous. He knew he wanted to help Jordan, but appeared really confused in himself when he began to speak to the Ceaseless Watcher. It was like he felt the reflex, the instinct of the power, but not what it would precisely do. What struck me the most about the conversation was Jordan being given the choice to go back.
I can put you back if you want. You could become a victim again, rather than complicit.
No. This isn't... I didn't want this. But I can't go back to that. I can't.
Jon is complicit. But it also means that he gets to choose who has the power. How much does that choice change the suffering of the afraid? Turning Jordan as opposed to the Inspector, that doesn't stop the domains and the fears. But it could alleviate causing more fear than there already is. It would also have more avatars wanting the world to go back to what it was. Maybe. Avatars. We also... Alice Daisy Tonner is dead. Jon and Martin and Basira tracked her down through the corpses of her victims across the domains. Basira's last words to Daisy were promising to kill her, but to be able to, Basira needed to understand her role as Daisy's accomplice. Recognize the victims. Know the damage behind blind faith within a violent institution.
But you can't hunt a monster that you refuse to see.
Honestly, I genuinely thought Basira was going to join Daisy in the hunt. Jon helped her examine her role, but, well... if Daisy's final wish was for Basira to find her and kill her, then following through on that blurs the line a bit on how much faith was really shaken. At least to me. But Basira did kill her. And Daisy was happy hunting in the apocalypse. But Helen offered Basira a door straight to Daisy. Because without Jon there, without guiding Basira through Daisy's carnage, Basira would have joined her. And that is exactly what Helen was relying on. But firstly, I was really wrong about Jon only needing to witness one of each fear's domain to reach the watchtower. I mean, What was I thinking? There's 40 episodes per season, not exactly climactic to reach Mount Doom after 15. Honestly, I kind of love being wrong nowadays. It feels much better, much more relaxing than being too right. I am fallible, I don't know everything, and it makes me feel human. And that is very nice. 177 Wonderland wasn't Helen's domain, it was Dr. David's. Ugh. Her true domain was in episode 187, Checking Out, where Jon realised the true nature of the distortion.
You are the question of what lurks behind a smile. Is a friendship true? Or is it reaching out with hands that cut you?
And that question is the most dangerous one of all, because Helen did not want the apocalypse to end. Meaning, she would have used the disguise of friendship to stop their ultimate goal. Too dangerous to keep alive. Now Helen, the distortion, is dead. And you can't blame me for feeling apathetic. Maybe even a bit of joy. She was cruel and she was dangerous. And maybe I still miss Michael Shelley. You know, one of my biggest regrets of the entire series is not giving proper attention to Mikaele Annabelle. I really thought I brought up the lingering suspicions of his sudden death in previous videos. I didn't doubt that he died. I just didn't trust that there was no obvious killer. I used to think that it was Gertrude or Elias, but of course there's no killer because he staged it, because he's alive! Using the extremely powerful camera he collected in 2011, mentioned by Floyd Matharu, episode 141 Doomed Voyage. After collecting the camera, the island they got it from erupted into fire, storms, and an enormous shadowy figure consumed it. Annabelle used this camera to make a domain. My researchers and I actually kept arguing over which source horror the camera belonged to. I thought the dark, because photography, dark rooms, and blind spots and hiding. Astrid thought the eye. Henrik thinks it doesn't matter because, and I quote, fuck Robert Smirk. And also he thought maybe all of them. Episode 181, Ignorance, Martin and Jon find Annabelle's paradise inside the apocalypse. The camera feeds on the fear of what's outside of your sanctuary. It fuels itself on everything that's keeping away from you, so when it's removed, all that pent-up fear comes rushing through. And I really like Annabelle. And I can also very much see him and Peter Lucas getting along. Or I assume they did. In episode 66, Held in Customs, they placed a bet on Vincent Yang and the buried box he got stuck in. Regardless, Annabelle's delightful. Unfortunately, Annabelle Kane was also in their paradise. And I think I know why. She needed to be in there so that they didn't stay. Jon could not stay in there forever. It cut off his connection to the eye, so he was growing weaker, vague, distant. But Martin, he technically could have. He didn't. And his reasoning, aside from his love for Jon, always included distrusting Annabelle, furthering my point that the web needs them both. Episode 186, Quiet. In Martin's domain, he talked with himself. About his fears, his past, his thoughts behind all of it. He talked about the possibility of killing Jon. That he couldn't do it, and he doesn't know what he would do if Jon tries to sacrifice himself. It had me thinking about the end. I've still got no ideas, no theories at all, so I started to consider the age-old question. The one that has led me to a few notably accurate thoughts. If I wrote this, what would I do? The act of Martin refusing to kill Jonah Magnus was one of the choices that ultimately caused the apocalypse to happen. I think, thematically speaking, killing would likely be one of the things that Martin fears the most. And this place is built on the things that would hurt us more than anything else. And Martin said that if he had to kill Jon, he doesn't think he would be able to do it. Which brings me to Jon. He's pulled by the eye, by complicity, by its power, and we're walking towards his domain. He wants to destroy the eye, but is getting cold feet increasingly more often, most notably when they reach the bottom of the watchtower. Jon also made some good points in episode 189, Peers. Any face-off between Jon and Elias will ultimately result in a victory based on the eye's preference. And it won't prefer the one that wants to kill it. But Jon is the pupil of the eye. And an eye cannot see without its pupil. So what if the eye cannot kill him? And what's Jonah to the eye? His main purpose was to build the pupil. So if the eye cannot see without Jon, it would pick him. And destroying the pupil could be a step towards bringing the world back. I think Jon will kill Elias and ask Martin to kill him when he sits on the Watcher's throne and gets overtaken by the Eye's power. I think that is the scenario that would combine their worst fears and hurt them the most. And I think that's why the web leads both of them there as well. I think that's how they will try to get the world back. And I don't know if it's going to work, but at the very least, I think it's what they're going to try. And if Jon doesn't die, well, he was the linchpin to start the apocalypse. Maybe he might be the linchpin to end it as well. Last episode, I offhandedly referred to myself as an Atlas figure holding up the bridge of horrors as they come closer over here to this world. But what if that concept is not just for me? And to reverse the apocalypse, Jon must be tasked to be an Atlas to hold up reality, to eternally watch, to uphold the world and keep it from ever transforming into the apocalypse again. That would give a pretty obvious antagonist for the Magnus Protocol. Anyone who wants the apocalypse back, go find and destroy the Archivist. Maybe the tapes play a role in bringing the world back too. I've been thinking about it. When the tape was in Helen's corridors, it felt more alive than it did before. And Salesa pointed out that one materialized in his domain when the domain's whole thing is keeping everything out. This originally had me wonder if maybe the tapes are summative of all of the fears, not just the web, but I now think it's possible for Annabelle Kane to have placed it there too. Does wrapping the world's old stories of fear provide a thread for the world to be brought back? Or maybe it's to cross-contaminate the Archivist with compulsions of the web, so when he sits on the throne on Jonah's seat at the all-seeing Panopticon, the web can go through him to obtain power. Or maybe I should just accept that theorizing is pointless and the story is predetermined and my guessing and grasping at straws will never ever change how it's going to end. You know, I never actually really understood the philosophy of predeterminism or determinism before the Magnus Archives. I never got it, okay? Why choose to believe that every choice you make is entirely out of your control? That's a complacent attitude. It so easily shirks the responsibility off yourself for any horrible outcome your decisions lead to. But maybe it's that I have always feared it. The idea that you don't retain any control of yourself or your impact on others, that there's no free will in any scenario. And that's exactly what the web is all about, huh? And I get the irony of a psychic fearing predeterminism, but I've never... No, I guess... I guess that it does pull the free will out of people, maybe. What if psychic prediction is just the most likely outcome of the current path? If it's probability, could it change? Could I chronicle someone twice? What if someone does something that fully and completely opposes the chronicle? What then? Or maybe all it is a future of the summative outcome of all of your own choices that you are going to make, which, from a certain perspective, maintains free will. You don't know how you're going to get there, so you're making decisions only on your own judgment, which, I guess, proves Annabelle Kane's point that ignorance is free will. You'll never know if what you're doing is making you walk away from your fate or walk towards it, which I guess brings the argument that if you don't know, why pay it any mind at all? It's entirely out of your control. Which brings us back to predeterminism. I'm trying to think about my past predictions before the show when I was just me. They were never exactly... how do I phrase it? I never really thought about the impact of choice. I'd get a sense that a wine glass was going to shatter within the minute, but never questioned whether or not I should try to catch it. That car in front of us is going to merge poorly, but if I don't tell the driver, are we going to crash? The professor is handing you back a bad grade, but if I saw this sooner, would telling you have changed that outcome? Does this mean that I only see things whose choices have made the outcome concrete? Or have I just never previously questioned the power I had to change anything? Or maybe I should stop thinking about endings because our story doesn't have an ending yet. We need to cut me off from the fears. I'm pretty sure that's the route we're going with this counter-ritual. And maybe Georgie and Melanie gave me some ideas. The boys are in London now, all eyes on them, but they found Melanie and Georgie, thank God. The couple wasn't affected by the fears because Melanie blinded herself to escape the eye and Georgie's encounter with the end removed her from her fear. So they're both cut off from the fears. Maybe that can help me. Well, I don't actually know how to blind oneself without killing oneself. And we know killing me could be quite bad. Not to mention jury's out as to whether I can even be blinded anymore. Or maybe I'm convincing myself it isn't possible because I don't want to. Or maybe the eye's convincing me. Regardless, removing my fear, maybe there's something there. A bigger certainty is we need to stop me being the archivist. So, what are the components of an archivist? Consuming statements, the dreams, compelling the truth out of people, being able to go into people's heads and extract statements from them. So what about the Chronicle? Foresight, seemingly accurate. Foresight, the broadcast, slivers of powers from the other fears, archivist stuff, the story. I guess then a good factor could be that the story ends. This was shit, they found... Oh God, what do I do? Stay there, and, that'll barely hold them, What do I do?
You know, when they told me you could see the future, I thought you'd at least have stronger locks. My employer warned me that you'd probably know I'm here, but you predicted I'd show up. The big question is, where would the mighty prophet archivist hide? Let's start with the bedroom. Under the bed? No. In the closet? Absolutely not. It was a foolish move on your part to predict the Curator's future. They were very clear that your prophecies are only true as long as you're alive, and they're paying quite a pretty penny to arrange the alternative. Or what, do you say pretty pence? Don't you know that if I don't call the Curator and confirm a job well done, your packmates don't come home? Really thought that would get you out. Let's do this the hard way, then. You can't hide from the hunt because you haven't been hiding at all. Don't need the eye to know where you would be. I just needed a little extra seasoning of fear. By toying with my meal, I know exactly where you are.
Don't! You won't want to kill me after I tell you about Amara. Didn't expect you to go so silent so quickly, but it certainly expedites the issue. Now, why would someone of the Hunt be so hell-bent on exterminating an avatar of the Vast? I suppose I could go into detail on the start of your interactions with one another, the age-old story of kinship bleeding into distaste and rotting into an angular rage. But that's not what selected her as your ultimate prey. No. It was what you interpreted to be disrespect. Because the Vast is what the Vast does. And Amara is floating so beyond your scent that you can never truly find her trail. Because she is a daughter of the falling Titan, and that makes her nothing but a small dot on the ever-expanding void of eternity. Her finite existence will never be important in the scheme of enormous greatness. So, any loss of life is nothing more than fuel for the cycle of entropy, and it is nothing except a heart beating to a heart still, a transformation that ultimately doesn't shift the universe at all. The everlasting hunt means nothing to her. You could never truly kill her in a way that would make her fear you. And I can feel that make your blood wreathe. If the Curator is correct, killing me will stop your victory. Because I can see her dying breath. And I can see you make her afraid. And you want that more than the measly contract that I am to you. Amara lives in Walmore, New York. Right next to the Niagara Falls. I'm sure I don't have to spell out how she prefers to feed. Start your search and encounter her on the cliff's edge. Ask her if she wants to fall forever. Tell her that if you're the one to throw her over, forever will never come, and she will be buried by the rocks and the currents and the tides. And for the first time in your life, you will smell a glimmer of her fear. Use it as a lifeline for her death. So Amara Fairchild's descent will be finite. And the song of your blood will never sound so sweet. Kill me, and you will lose your story. I'm not the one your blood wants. Listen to it. It's almost as if you're catching her trail. Your blood can hardly sense me now. I'm not a significant character to your tale. It's almost as if I am not here at all. It's almost as if you are all alone. Go. She's gone. Oh my god. Oh my god, she's gone. Oh my god. I know I sounded confident and suave, but oh my god. I hate the hunt. Okay. I'm a little dizzy now. Oh. Oh, when did you get out of fret? Give me a second. I need a second. I'll fix you. Just. Hi. Better now. Calm down. Hi. Vita Renard, the hunter. They said something that I've got a bit of a plan. Pretty clever, a bit dangerous. Let's see how long it works for.
Curator, I killed it. The Prophet Archivist is dead. Now you can...
Oh, you sneaky bastard! How the hell are you alive?
What the hell was that? Are you going to kill Astrid and Henrik?
Oh, God, it feels so much worse in... No! Vita Renard failed, so I'm stuck with this ridiculous counter-ritual as a backup, and it won't succeed without them.
How do we know that you will give us the proper objects?
Because you can rip the truth from my lungs, you paranoid
Let me talk to them so I know that they are here and okay.
It'd be a waste of time. Chronicle, you don't...
You said Chronicle. Are you talking to Ed?
What? Is Eddie on the phone?
I know better than to tell someone attached to the eye to stop eavesdropping, and yet...
Hey, Curator! What did you just try to do to me?
Oh, I sent a hunter to kill you while your friends were unable to interfere.
You motherfucker!
Yeah.
I was the one that found us. I was the one who helped us go back and so
Derek,
I was just so shy of it.
I think
backup, and oh no, they betrayed us. We kind of saw it coming, but now it's out of the system.
Stop talking about me like I'm not here.
We've got the same goals now, Ed. Astrid, they're gonna try to kill you again.
Are you going to try and kill any of us again?
Regrettably, not anytime soon. You are all necessary components for this counter-ritual, and at this point, it's the only plan I have left.
Wait! Not anytime soon, that's fucking fine! Just so you're aware, this is not forgiven. You are not an ally. The exact moment that we are no longer on the same side, I will do everything in my power, with or without the horrors, to kill you.
I'll look forward to the attempt.
I'll look forward to getting even.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inform your Chronicle of its part in this farce. Go look at the notes I gave you, and don't touch anything else. Funny as it might be for you to get snatched up by the buried or the dark, it would regrettably ruin everything.
Eddie, stay safe.
Try not to kill him while you're at it.
Astrid.
Quite the scene you caused, Chronicle. They seem to put more value on your life than you do.
When did you stop calling me Dreamwalker?
Not much point anymore, is there? That path is closed now. You are what you are.
I guess I can't really argue with you about that anymore.
Silver linings, I suppose. Now, Ashlyn and Perseus, would you say there is mutual care in their bond? Or is his devotion entirely one-sided?
Wait, are you asking me if I know that they're in love?
If you would.
Yes, of course they are. I know them.
You knew them. I don't doubt that bond was there. How much has it changed?
They still... Yeah. It's more complicated now, but it's still love.
Wonderful! You have to chronicle them.
I'm sorry, what?
If they're still anchoring each other, there's a chance they'll value that bond over their patrons. At the very least, there's always self-preservation. So, predict a future where they die horribly and cannot save each other. Make it a fixed, inevitable point that will happen if the Chronicle succeeds. Make them feel how much it will hurt until failure is the preferable option. If we're lucky, if you aren't overestimating their connection, that will be enough to keep them from interfering.
But that's not possible. We have no idea where they are, and I can't choose to predict certain outcomes. I can't control what I see. I just see it. I just chronicle what's already out there. Who's to say I don't look into Percy and Ash and pull out a prophecy where they win, and the fears are pulled through me, and then I start a full apocalypse. I can't control the future.
We fundamentally disagree on the nature of the future. Your objections are irrelevant, though. If you can't control what you see, then they'll disrupt the counter-ritual, and we're doomed anyway.
Great, so it's either ensure a future of peace or ensure a future of torment.
Have I mentioned how much I despise precogs?
I'm starting to understand the sentiment, yes. We don't know where they are, though, Percy and Ash. Last we saw, Astrid just mentioned that she might have seen Ash by your shop.
She failed to mention that to me.
Are you afraid of Ash?
Fighting the web is usually a losing battle. I'd prefer to avoid a direct confrontation.
That's not concerning at all.
They can't enter the shop without my knowing, at the very least.
A bit less concerning.
regardless, no amount of spiderweb can hide a raging fire. You'll find them.
Fine. Good point.
Just checking. You still get the dreams? Jonathan in the apocalypse, he doesn't sleep, so it's ambiguous.
I do, yeah. All of them.
Have they changed at all?
I think people notice me more, react to me more often, but aside from that, not particularly, no.
And including the Chronicles, do you dream about those?
I mean, I do, but only until they happen, then they vanish, I guess. Unless someone makes a statement about it afterwards, which they usually do. Then they return. Why are you asking me about my dreams?
Thought so. Don't worry about it.
What do you mean,
Don't make me answer that.
Why?
Oh, for fuck's sake, because you are constantly watched by people who might interfere, and as you just proved, you yourself cannot be trusted with any information about the ritual.
Fuck!
Why do you think your part in all this is just to feed?
Fine, Fine, I can do that. Is there anything else you need from me?
Thankfully, no. Your assistants seem reasonably competent when given proper direction.
Then I was just You mentioned Jon in the apocalypse. I guess I sort of forgot that you've listened to the Magnus Archives.
I'd still be fumbling in the dark if I hadn't. It's a useful framework.
Do you have a favourite episode? Or character?
111. And Elisa, obviously. He was the only sensible one. Get the job done, Chronicle.
Well, should have guessed that. Also should really hope that Ash does not watch the broadcast anymore. You know, Percy slept over at my flat the day after his first date with Ash. Told me every sickeningly sweet detail. They got sushi, and Ash used to monologue all of her ideas about gifts and surprise parties for all of our friends all the time at me. She is really good at throwing a surprise party. I've got Henrik and Astrid, and that's lovely, and I love them, but I don't know. I guess I miss it when it was easier. I miss when we were all friends. Ugh. Busy day, right? It's been a while since nothing has really interrupted the end of the broadcast, right? I kind of forget how I usually close them out. Oh my god, when was the last time? What, since the beginning of season 3? Oh my god. Oh, well, I don't know if it's still applicable to the situation, but... Statement ends.